Nargis entering this place, we have to talk about another film which is called SAFED.
Is no one having a good time? Essentially crossed over to the other side. Crossed over to the side that I am on. Once she sees that she actually put her money where her mouth is.
Yeah.
You know, she walked the talk and then she roars at him. Hello everybody. You smile, okay? Don't do anything else. Welcome to another episode of Chronically Online. Yeah.
Okay. So, we are getting...
We did digress. So anyway, Gauri is...
The next stage of this thing is, we have done talking about the identity part. Like Gauri itself proclaims in this show that my life went in three
stages.
It's like identity, survival,
and dignity.
And then dignity. Dignity is what is going on with the Nalsa, with the
So we start
awareness,
with a glimpse of
how identity was formed.
I think this is like the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you know, where it is like the पहले तुम्हारा रोटी कपड़ा मकान, उससे भी पहले रोटी कपड़ा मकान से भी पहले तुम कौन हो, उस बात पे at least there shouldn't be debate on who you are. If somebody is constantly questioning who you are, then you can't even establish the hierarchy of needs.
So we have come to a situation where Gauri leaves the house.
Yeah.
And Gauri has come to Bombay. Gauri has been doing odd jobs.
Mostly a waiter. They needed a male waiter.
Yeah.
So she is... It's so weird to say that she's masquerading as a male waiter, but technically she is, because andar se she's a woman and she doesn't want to dress as a...
Surprising, it. That is a lot of people's reality. Performing masculinity. I'm not just talking about straight men. Some people have to do it for a life.
Which is what she's doing right now, that even though, well, she's born a man, but she is in rejection of that particular assignment.
Yeah.
So now she has a mooch and, well, she's got that height. She looks a bit like Amitabh Bachchan.
No, it's like a cute thing, right? The gay social worker she keeps hanging out with. वो लाता है वो fake mooch तेरे पुराने डब्बे में मिला. And then she's like, oh my god, remember those days?
She used to wear a fake mooch at one...
Yeah, the entry comes with the friend giving the fake mooch, and then and that is why they put zoom shots of her, like maybe for once.
And
maybe she also looks like her father.
So she's also, you know, she's like, okay, one connection with the family that is indelible is that genetics will still reflect, and she does look a bit like her father.
Yeah.
You know, which that's not an indication of anything. People tell that to kids, boys, girls alike. They only look like a dad.
Looks like my father.
So that, and it's really weird because there's also that, it's not, I don't think you can call it an introduction into romance. It's not romance. It's not romance. But there's a fellow waitress, like
who's
you know,
heavily trying to lay some tracks.
On Gauri. Like, she doesn't know what's up.
The heavily laying tracks. And me and Kirat watching were like,
we are like,
Behan, galat darwaza pe
forget galat darwaza. I am like, you've so left Sharam in the rear view with this one. We have left flirting territory and fully entered harassment. Take a step back. In a second. You know, she's just really trying to. But this waiter thing is essentially to make money. Because Gauri is a social activist.
Yeah.
Works for the rehabilitation of trans people and is distributing pamphlets vagera.
But that is not how it starts, does it? See, you want to be around people who feel like home. So you go around, and sadly for when Gauri was growing up, I don't think probably itna urban gay literature queer
बिल्कुल नहीं था
representation queer groups are also not many of them were there in India while Gauri was growing up, at least there were still, which are icon Nargis. So at that logic, because she's trying to be around these people, she's trying to give them some usko kya bolte hai, she's like please study, read the pamphlet at least this time, be safe.
So the thing is that she's interfacing with the community more and more, and essentially what she's seeing is that there is rampant poverty. Okay. None of them have family ties. So it's like if you pass away or if you're injured or something like that, nobody can come through for you. No one can help you. And because of, like we've already mentioned, you know, unidentified and non-existent as per country's laws, and so you can't even get jobs, can't get a driver's license, don't have social security of any kind. You're looking to jobs like sex work, etc. Usme there's a lot of disease, there's a lot of social ostracization. So it's like a community on the margins is getting pushed further in the margins with this work.
All of them a stimuli and response to each other.
Yeah.
It worsens the situation as much how everything is interconnected.
You're
poor because you're poor, you can't afford things, you can't afford dignity, then nobody will even give you dignity if you can afford it.
Yeah.
Like it's like a hell loop which keeps on going.
All poverty is systemic.
Yeah.
And that nobody can, I don't think
Plus social stigma.
Plus social stigma. So when people are like, oh, this is the lower class, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't know how many subclasses are in the lower class. You
That's
don't want to visit the lowest class because that's how bad it is. And if people are under the assumption that the middle class couldn't get pushed into the lower class, they are wrong.
Extremely wrong.
If they are under the assumption that the lower class wouldn't develop further lower classes, they're also wrong about that. Because the more social stigma is piled, the more you have to go underground, the lesser your resources are, the more the violence increases, the more disease increases.
And then the more you can sell shit to people.
And then the more you can sell shit to people, the more there can be back channels for illegal,
Nothing beats a sale which is based off of survival.
And desperation.
That's how businesses work, that's how capitalism works, that's how sadly politics are also working. Everywhere.
So she is witnessing this reality of trans people. And again, usme there's a lot of embitterment inside.
Yeah.
Because they are like, okay, so we're in a bad place, but you need to leave us alone here, we're no one's charity cases.
Yeah.
So anytime she tries to empower somebody, they're also like, who are you?
And it also comes from, see, when we are saying she tries to empower somebody only, we understand because Gauri probably was not doing any amount of sex work. And because Gauri has also not transitioned perfectly. Gauri is trying to, she's also trying to get the capital for it. And also deliberation if she should do it or not.
She should do it or not because it's a very, very big decision. And contrary to popular belief, it's not like a snap thing. There's a lot of internal deliberation, and then you're also going to have to convince apparently the resources available to undergo surgeries like that are also few and far between in the country. Like
technically this is what, right? Like my sister and a lot of other friends of ours also have in a understanding dialogue, we were like, okay, then what is the most healthiest way to transition? And this is obviously, right, you're not going to directly go get the knife, let's cut it off. That is not how things are going to work. You're supposed to, the actual process is what? You go to the doctor, you figure out what's happening. Is it gender dysphoria? Is it something else? Or is it just something else? Or are you actually going to gender dysphoria?
I think psych evals are always involved.
Always the first one.
Before
and then depending on that, you go through hormone therapy or whatever it is necessary for you. Because not all trans people are also trans men or women. There is also so much trans non-binary in between. So everybody wants to do whatever they want to do to themselves for them to feel like themselves. So not every single time someone says transition, it's like, oh my god.
They're not all trying to arrive at the same place. They're not trying to arrive at the same look, for instance.
What we think are two buckets is an entire different ecosystem. And there is so much there. And so it's like psych evals, hormone therapy, so much, and transition is like the last step for something.
And even after that, then you have to basically maintain your transition with medicine, etc.
Yeah, medicine and hormones. Like in Grey's Anatomy, there is one trans woman who's put in the...
How?
No, sorry, not Grey's Anatomy. What is that? Orange is the New Black.
Okay.
Yeah, Orange is not... There is one trans woman who's there in the female prison. And what they do is, because there is a right-wing government outside, they're like budget cuts, they stop the medicine.
Oh.
They stopped she was in jail for something and she was still getting her hormones, but they stop it. And then the struggle she goes through, although it doesn't get much screen time, but the struggle she goes through, like it gets very real and very painful at the same time. Like you're in jail, you're not in a celebratory position, and the only thing which is keeping you sane is being yourself, and that is also being ripped out of you because of something else outside. Mal intentions or ignorance. Mainly. So
and the fact that budget cuts is always going to be, this covert term to essentially pull the rug out from under groups, which are very ostracized, which are very marginalized, because they're like, who's gonna fight for them, right? They're not the majority in any way.
That's what I see. There can be 4 people in a family, and what counts as a perfect spending is going to be different for a father and a mother and 2 children. Everybody's ideology of what is a good money spent and good time spent will be different. So when you take that, you know that obviously there's going to be a group who's going to be like, oh my god, karenge, this is a waste of money. So you take the help of that and you say that we are serving them, and you make a very intellectual logic that, we are removing this, we'll not give the budget. Kiske paas hi money hai, logon ke paas khana nahi hai, so we are removing the budget for this.
And then जो लोगों के पास खाना नहीं है, you don't allocate budget to that either.
That either.
Interesting, no?
Very like of all of these, a hormone pill maximum to maximum. It's not a cancer pill. Okay? It's not going to cost you $30,000. A hormone pills are way cheaper, and there is one trans woman in that jail.
In the context of the show.
Yeah, in the context of the show.
Yeah.
So I'm still talking about the show only, guys.
Yeah.
Like obviously.
There's
nothing going on. So that happens, and then see, we termed this segment also like, because I mean we are also human, the like medical gatekeeping. So that is why. So what exactly happens is in episode 4, this gay social worker that Gauri is friends with, they try to, it's a group called SAFE or something, I guess.
See, when Gauri starts hers, that has a different name.
No, this is when in that first.
I do not remember.
Yeah, it's something called like it's on the same lines. They're like, it's like let's make a trans alliance. Let's get people from the streets and let's get the intellectuals together. You see, like the how frames can explain a lot of things, right?
It's like a class blend. They're trying to achieve. Which is not happening. Which backfires majorly.
Because an entire sector is sitting on one side and the other sector is sitting on the other side.
That gay social worker is not the brightest bulb, okay? Because he really tried to assimilate them with no context.
Yeah, and Gauri on one side is still trying to manage. Okay, aise mat karo. Like, see, Gauri has good intentions.
But she is policing the behavior of the poorer people.
Yeah.
Because she is like, it's your job to make them comfortable. Like, maybe don't keep exhibiting your poverty so much.
Yeah, like both of you have to come to a middle statement. But Gauri, see, at the same time, Gauri is talking to these people. She is still representing and helping these people.
And she is like,
she's like, okay, we have to behave thoda sa.
And she's like, don't chalk up your bad behavior to being trans. No, this is just you.
Yeah. And icon Nargis entering this place, she's like, she'll spit on a person who looks like the most classist lesbian I've ever seen in my life. Like standing there, and she's like, oh my god, these people don't have sense, blah, 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 blah. She does all of that. And then Nargis is like, you shut up. Please. In the 2 English words that she gets. And there is where Nargis is like, stop saying we and us.
When you are not a part of we and us, you don't live our reality.
Yeah.
You don't wear the clothes. You haven't even undergone the procedures.
Yeah.
So she is like, you can't be an ally when it's convenient and then call yourself a member of the community because you need to belong.
Yeah.
You know, we're not existing for your belonging here. It's not going to coddle you.
This is the great turmoil here, right? So Gauri feels like we and us.
Yeah.
But because of some procedure not being done, like Nargis is angry by the way. Nargis and Gauri are friends. Because the first scene that Nargis shows up, Gauri is like, remember when that old person dies, Gauri first time sees Nargis and Gauri is gone.
Oh!
Yeah. So they're also obviously friends. Those in the transition which will follow, she'll say that you came last time, you filled the form, why did you go through it that time? And struggling Gauri says that I did not have the balls to do it back then. And the same thing happens. Yeah. So Nargis also has information what's happening. It's a very small group, by the way.
Yeah.
Just because Jio Cinema ne ye show banaya doesn't mean they have thousands of budget and huge resources. The community doesn't. And this is also in 2000s.
Which one?
This is happening in early
2000s. As per the timeline of the show, this is happening in the early 2000s. So anyway, after those taunts from Nargis, not that the taunts are the turning point.
Yeah.
The thing is that Gauri realizes she has a choice to make.
Yeah.
And then she decides to, I think, just get a spine and like make the choice.
Yeah, also at the same time, it's also like, that is what the thing is, right? You see an entire montage while the other server girl is trying to basically assault Gauri. Like, so when she's trying to make all the moves in the universe. So what you see is Gauri also trying to embrace the masculinity a little bit, still going through the turmoil. And like, this is where I feel like we have to talk about another film, which is called SAFED. So this is the most vanilla sugar-coated show, which is called TAALI. But SAFED feels like the ground reality.
Opposite end of the spectrum.
Opposite end of the same spectrum and same struggles.
And I had to work myself up way beyond just to watch TAALI.
Just to watch TAALI.
SAFED is like, I'm mouth shut, I do not know.
Yeah.
Tell me. You tell me.
So roughly what happens is Abhay Verma, icon. Like,
from Munjia.
For Munjia.
For the people.
This is prior to Munjia.
This is prior to Munjia.
Yeah, this is Abhay Verma's breakout role.
Damn!
Yeah. And this boy has done so well. See, he doesn't speak up, I understand. He has done his service with this show. With this movie.
Okay.
So basically, this is like a gay child, okay? And is always there, always extremely effeminate. And probably like kicked out or something. None of that is about. Kicked out, like gone to the community or gets assaulted in a beach or something also. But what happens here is, this person, this trans woman is going back and forth. This is where it is, like, she doesn't feel like a woman completely.
Abhay Verma's character.
Yeah, Abhay Verma's character. So she doesn't feel like a woman completely, I guess. Or it's also because you're seeing the ground reality and the horror, what is happening, right? Nobody treats you like a human being.
So she's like, why would I want to transition? Like,
why would I want to do
I feel like I want to, but why would I join this group with the way this is the group is treated?
How we are treated. It's so dehumanizing.
Oh my God. No, but I'm not.
That's why I said it's ground reality, right? It's so dehumanizing. There's like, and there is an equal other side, okay? Equal other side is a widow, a young widow in the same place, and widows have a huge coalition there who are also living horrible lives.
Okay.
Nobody says. So what happens is basically a lavender marriage sort of an equation. None of this happens, by the way. It's just an equation that they think that maybe they could. Maybe we should get married and maybe we'll have that respect finally. So I keep telling the transition is not easy because SAFED mein this person being a trans woman who's with the Kinner community and whatever it is, the same time he's like, I will find respect. I will find it. Maybe I can pass off as a boy. Maybe I can wear the clothes. Maybe I can do this. And when he's having these discussions with somebody else, and I say he, because the character is also deliberating so much here.
Still presenting as
still presenting male in half situations, presenting female for survival with the group that they are in.
Okay.
So it's going very black. Nothing. It's very grey. Okay.
It's very grey.
That's why I said it's very close to reality. This movie is very grey. There is no full realization. There is no this is my gender. There is no pride here.
I feel like that just works in from like a very screenplay context. You know, okay. A linear course of events like ye hota hai, fir ye hota hai, fir ye hota hai. But that doesn't even work like that. That's not even the way of real life for any person. Transness completely aside, I don't think there is a linear way to get to work on any given day.
See, there are so many people who go through extreme gender dysphoria and depression because they know that they want to transition, but they know that they are the other gender or they are non-binary or something. But they are aware of every reality. They are aware of the reality. And they don't have the resources, the kindness from anybody around you that depresses you. Suicide rate is high. But there is also a small pocket of this grayness where, because if you're pushed into a situation where you just have to survive, you'll try to do anything. There is no ground reality for Abhay Verma's character in this entire movie, okay? You're going back and forth. He is a Kinner person. She is a trans woman. She has been a trans woman for a while. But what happens here is she's been struggling with maybe respect. This is what, that one dialogue in TAALI, which that trans girl says to our 18-year-old Gauri, that do anything but
be this.
Yeah. That is her whole reality in SAFED.
Okay.
And nobody is being treated nicely. The widows are also being treated like inhumans because everybody is poor. So the heroine ka naam is Ganga.
Okay.
So here they finally come to. They also don't meet. Imagine your husband just died and you are a young widow. Okay. So I mean, it's frowned upon for them to even meet, right? A young widow and a trans woman.
Okay.
Who's wearing male clothes and male presenting.
So it's also very unseemly for a young widow to be meeting a man. Like again, that is further going to just
meeting a man who's obviously effeminate.
Oh, obviously effeminate.
Obviously, clearly effeminate.
Crazy. That's
crazy. And obviously, if the half of the city knows, like, obviously a trans woman who's just like out of drag sort of a situation. Although it is very disrespectful to say that, but this character, I would really want you guys to watch this film, because like if TAALI is going to make you uncomfortable, then I guess SAFED is going to bring you all down to understand what reality is before everybody is going to go sit and support.
Sit in judgment of these things. Without having the faintest clue.
Without having the faintest clue of what the struggle looks like.
Like at least have the guts to consume one piece of media, like raw of this reality, before you're like, I understand everything about it. I read articles. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, biology. Like the biology says, this is there.
There are only two genders.
Because some orange bastard said it. But yeah, okay. Yeah, where were we?
So what happens in SAFED then?
So this Kinner girl is still extremely struggling. And by the end of it, neither of the groups want them to do what they want to do. Okay. They also don't want to do what they are doing.
Alright then.
They're like, that's what, right? It's not like there was hope. It was not a story where maybe this person is going to transition back and suddenly marry off somewhere, live and get respect. It's not that story. It's still the story of struggle. It is a story of running away from yourself for maybe a shred of respect.
Yep. So you just know that there is no happy ending baked into this. Like,
Yeah,
it is sad.
Abhay Verma's character, the trans woman he's playing, knows
that
how much ever you can present whatever it is just for society,
the
what you are is you are.
not going to change.
Yeah, that I am a trans woman. I feel like this. That's why I came out. And whatever happened, but it's just the hoax, right? When you're in that survival mood, and when you feel like this rut, I have to get out of this rut. And that felt like that one opportunity for this woman. Then I think at 3/4 of the movie is when the widow realizes that this person is a trans woman.
What, you're telling me she doesn't know?
That is when she realizes that this person is a trans woman. She's still like there is a turmoil there. Like, you don't understand. There is. I don't think there's any attraction or something. Like, it was basically
just this is like Trench's friendship.
Both of them are just trying to be kind to each other, and both of them mistake it for love.
Okay.
Like, the layers of this film.
You're losing me.
I'm losing myself. The layers of this film. So what happens by the end of it is they are not together. Both of them die. No?
Both of them die.
Together also, I can't even tell if they died together.
See, this is my problem with you, Kaundinya. You don't give me any trigger warning. You don't give me shit.
Life doesn't give trigger warnings to people, Kirat.
Valid. All my takes are privileged. I understand that.
Yes.
However,
apologize to the community right now.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
So sorry. But what the fuck, boss? How can you tell me what the characters died?
Well, their lives meant nothing already.
Yes, I understand. These were two extremely ostracized people. That probably matter shit to
and
people outside.
I have only talked about the gores that Abhay Verma's character is seeing, the trans woman is seeing. The gores that the widows are seeing is
completely.
No violations, no assaults, but just the gore of them not even being recognized as human beings. Like your entire identity
is
is
a small town or like a village or something.
I think it's Banaras or I think it's either Banaras or some place in or near Kalighat in Kolkata or something. Yeah, it's either Kolkata or Banaras, one of those. In that pocket.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Kalighat. No, it's Kolkata. No, yeah, it's Kolkata. The movie is Kolkata. That's why Abhay also. But it's also the Bengali videos. The Bulbul mein you saw, no, how the entire mundan and everything. These are not just random husband-dead ladies. Okay, these are widows. The structural in the religion mundan karwaya hua, only white wearing, kicked out of the houses, widows.
Okay, because this I recognize from Bulbul as well.
Bulbul,
that,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Okay. So that widows are put in a place like generally all widows every single time.
In this one, I think it's like in Bulbul, it's like her bhabhi, Tripti Dimri's main character Bulbul. Her bhabhi is like the rare exception where at least she's allowed to stay in the house. And it
depends on the house ka mercy. If they don't want you, they can just send you off.
So the thing is that the brothers, one brother is like gone off trade, this, that and all. The other brother is dead, which just keeps it widow
it's
already in Bulbul's hands. But even then, the power struggle is so weird because on one hand, the bhabhi is older. She's supposed to have that older status. So she's like, I wish I could yank Bulbul around.
Yeah.
But Bulbul is the one with the living husband and she doesn't. So Bulbul can take shots at her whenever she wants. She doesn't because she's like a benevolent woman. But she also doesn't keep her mouth shut because
all the sarcasm, that one iconic scene from Bulbul is like, "Aapne SAFED bahut acha lagta hai." That is what, right? When you finally get power and you want to be in that power, it doesn't come off as I will burn you down. Like, it doesn't come like that.
Yeah, she is like, I can take gentle shots also at you because what are you gonna do? You have no room to stand up.
You're beneath me taking a shot on you also. Yeah. Like, that is what it comes
Which
down
is what
right?
it is. They're also sitting like that. She's sitting up on the stairs. She's sitting down on the stairs.
Yeah.
She tries to say one mean thing. She's like, what have you got going for you anyway?
The entire movie, this Abhay Verma's character, like, see, I have no clue if that's a trans woman or a non-binary person or a person just struggling. Like, I am struggling trying to gender this person.
Trying to understand.
The layers of this character, because all this person is wanting to do is just get some shred of rest.
I dread to ask, but how did they die?
See,
don't spiral, just tell me.
The trans community was not like, hum tumko maar denge, but they are like, you can't be one of us or something like that. And then the widows are like, mukali karke aayi.
Oh.
It's almost. So it's also very grey, their death scene. Also, they're like, there's no point in living anymore. It's
unalive.
Both of them come in.
Unalive.
Like Padma.
Oh.
In different places. I don't even think in the same place. So it is
at least
unalive.
No. Are they a couple?
No, there's no upside.
There's no upside. That's what
Okay,
I'm trying
you're
to
right.
So this is the ground reality, right? Discrimination is discrimination, regardless of whatever it is. For people who can't relate to this content, if you've been discriminated against, we are talking to you.
Otherwise,
please understand.
Otherwise, we did talk about materialism in a different episode. If you just want to have fun, and your life is great, and you have.
If life is great, the Pedro Pascal's life was great.
Yeah.
Imagine he also chopped his legs off for 2 inches.
Is no one having a good time?
Nobody does.
I think
all of you suffer. Okay. So what happens is Nargis is like,
we're back to TAALI.
Yes, we're back to TAALI.
Yeah.
So that's what, right? I just wanted to make this point.
I know, I understand that. But anyway, Nargis makes the valid point that you can't keep tottering, you can't keep riding the line between allyship and belonging. We did the grave mistake
of stopping at 3 before going to 4. And we had an entire night of debate, or can someone medically gatekeep like this? But later we understand is Nargis and Gauri are friends. And Gauri is like, grow some balls or lose, I don't know. And then they're like, don't do this.
When Gauri decides to undergo the gender reassignment surgery, also that little nuance thing that before the surgery, they've given her the form and the nurse keeps repeating injury, coma or death. And she's just reading it out like a laundry list, like neither of these things matter.
Yeah.
Okay. And Gauri is like, idli, dosa, uttapa, aisa itna easy nahi hai.
It is not that easy, and like, see, it's also the desensitization of the nurses.
Right? The desensitization of the nurses.
But I'm not saying that Purva was not insensitive.
No, she was not.
And she's also trying to speak in a different language, which is not her mother tongue.
And she is like, I'm doing due diligence by informing
you.
So I've done my job. Yeah. And now then Gauri is standing at the payphone trying to call someone. And she cannot get a hold of anybody.
Who's the first person she calls?
Her gay friend from the NGO.
Yeah.
But he does not pick up the phone because he's not in office.
He's not in office.
And then she calls her sister.
And the sister and Jiju picks up sister is in duty because
duty.
Oh yeah, okay. For suspicious reasons. Sister is outside. Jiju picks up. Jiju's like, bye. Yeah. Then calls the father. That is where this hoax starts. Like, both of them know they're speaking to each other. The first time, father doesn't recognize. From every single other time, insurance call, whenever it gets, father knows it's Gauri knows it's father.
I'm not sure he does know.
In the end, when the first movie or somewhere where do you want to see how I speak to my father? And then he's like, insurance. And he cuts the phone.
Okay.
He knows it's
he
Gauri.
knows that all these decoy calls are his child.
And it starts with that day when Gauri was in the hospital.
Okay, so then she makes these calls and she realizes that nobody is going to come to support her or to even make sure that she wakes up from the operation. But it's like, this is no time to keep waiting on other people. Yeah. She is like, can I show up for myself?
Also, there was no other option. And then under jiska koi nahi uska sirf Sai Baba hai, and she's right there. And since then you see Sai Baba necklace on her at all times.
So she sees the Sai Baba poster in the hospital and then she is like, okay, Bhagwan bharose. Goes in and...
it's the most horrifying thing.
Yeah, actually...
To go into any surgery, let alone...
Like gender-related surgeries, massive risk.
I will be crude here. Like, basically just a bone surgery, a keyhole surgery only. I was like, yo, entire clan has to be there. I told no surgery until my sister comes.
Yeah, people get that way.
She would leave and came and we went and got the surgery done. Imagine you are having, I'm being the most crudest for you guys to understand it. Having your genitals almost mutilated or altered in any other way. I'm using these terms not to be insensitive. I'm using these terms for you to understand the gore of this also. When you're doing it with your entire family present only, it's a very hard process.
And the reality of the matter is that for a surgery this intense
and complicated
with risks, and it's veering as close to violence on the human body as possible. Yeah. You're undergoing it willingly, but it is. People will have the least amount of support for this thing. They will have the least amount of family members around for this.
And then they'll look at you like, "Tum kidhar bhi jaake muh kala karwa ke aaye?"
So you can't even talk to people about it.
Like that's what we were very heated on why Nargis is medically gatekeeping, and we were angry on Nargis because we like idiots took a races 3 and 4. Yeah. So like 4, the first responder is Nargis.
So after she has the surgery and then she has a very long recovery period ahead of her, the same a trans woman, the same trans prostitute who was like, you can't claim to be part of the community until you've gotten this, until you've essentially crossed over to the other side, crossed over to the side that I am on. Once she sees that she actually put her money where her mouth is. Yeah. She walked the talk. she is there to take care of her, to help her recover, to remind her about her medicines, and to essentially just make sure that she's not going to keel over and fall.
The entire post-op care itself.
The entire post-op care is done by, but I think there's something to celebrate here, because apart from the post-op care, this is when Gauri finally gets to start living and looking like a woman that she's always wanted.
Yeah, and the entire
the montage is really.
It was like a Penelope looking at herself in season 3 of Bridgerton. Like, you've not seen the show, but like for audiences, like suddenly it's Nicola Coughlan. Right? Nicola is a heavy woman, and like Penelope is very insecure. The character is very insecure, and like there is one scene like looks at herself and is like, maybe, and imagine gender affirming in this scenario.
Gender affirmed,
finally affirmed as much as you can affirm in your budget,
and as much as close to your destination as you would have liked. And then they do the ceremonies, where
all the at least the major Hijra communities, Kinnar communities, like there are also versions in the main two. So like you can't just randomly put 2 names on a list and call it that. So there are many communities. Every state will have different types of trans communities. But one we see is around Bombay, around Gujarat, and around the around the west part of it, around the west part of India, there is the trans people take Bauchara Mata as their Kuldevi. They call it Murgi Mata.
Okay.
So they do that entire ceremony where it's almost like before wedding you do the haldi and everything. It's like a Mangala Snanam.
It felt like a wedding ceremony where they put the haldi on the body. And by this time Gauri has also grown out her hair very long. So this is the most.
This is like the final. This is like a very heartwarming moment to finally see someone embrace themselves completely.
Also, I think like even as far as like representation goes, I can imagine like for a trans person, they would want transition kiya, then you should look like Miss Universe.
Yeah, and imagine having a Miss Universe.
So
any trans person watching this show would have like, I'm not saying Sushmita Sen played, you guys should be happy. I'm not that idiot. But again, see, looking at that though, like that is why the entire male drag which Sushmita has performed in this movie was important. For like,
because she performed like male drag, she put her ass into it.
Yeah.
Okay. And that
props to the prosthetics department.
Props to the prosthetics, and props to whoever gave her that Amitabh Bachchan like hair look and everything. Very era appropriate
also. Yeah. And also rural appropriate.
Very rural appropriate.
Mustache is still a very.
And then the waiter check shirts and all.
Yeah.
All eras of Indian economy we are covering here. But then finally, she is like indisputably a woman. The braid, the blouse, the sari, the really good saris and all. And I think jumps both feet in.
And it's also such a dream for her because a 16-year-old and 18-year-old Ganu has seen 15-20 ceremonies like this roaming around in those circles. And it's like a dream come true to Gauri. And to
just be recognized as a woman and have those ceremonies happen.
Yeah, for her and to be embraced like that. And also at the same time, like we mentioned before, sister is in the Ganpati Utsav ka. This is also Gauri Ganesh Haba, like this is the one day prayer Ganpati.
Yeah.
So there is so much rush and everything on road, so sister is there. So she is also not there. And the symbolism and metaphor that the show uses is so heartwarming.
Yeah.
Like it's every single time they're like Gauri aane ke din hai, Gauri aane ke din hai. The nurse who attends to Gauri is also like, आज तो गौरी आने वाली थी ना, तो इसलिए मैं शाम को आ गई or something like that. So like I guess that is also one of the reasons Gauri has taken the name Gauri.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know about real life, but in the show to establish that metaphor, and that's why to go from Ganesh to Gauri was so good. I'm glad you explained it to me because I wouldn't have known.
That's many people would have just ignored it. Number of times they say Gauri aane wali hai, Gauri aane wali hai, Gauri to aa jai. Isliye, and then
she's like Gauri aayi.
And the music that they're playing, Gauri aayi, which is basically like a famous music that people play, and it's also the song is a folk song. We're like, Gauri is coming to house today, Gauri is coming to house today. So Ganesh Chaturthi ke pehle din in Karnataka and in Maharashtra, what happens is they do a Gauri Puja. So she comes with
the mother comes.
Devi, yeah. The mother comes with the child for child's birthday to her maika. So what they do is, because she is the queen, when she comes, you do the respects. Because तुम्हारी घर की बेटी आई तो बच्चे का birthday है, पर पहले बेटी को तो प्यार करोगे ना.
Okay.
So that day is for that. So Gauri comes. So like Gauri has arrived. I'm like, oh my god, metaphor. It was so good.
Top-notch metaphor.
And then even she looks like a goddess when she gets her ceremony done. And like, it was just so good, and immediately she jumps into the role of the mother.
Somebody must have gifted her a hella good makeup palette, because after this point, her makeup is so slay.
It's everywhere, and also like that's what 2 minutes nahi hua, this woman has finished the religious thing.
Immediately 2 minutes nahi hua that the ceremony is over, and she is like, activism times 10.
Times 10.
Who is going to prevent me from representing the community now?
Yeah.
And
context. So what happens is, there is another trans girl who was doing some sort of sex work outside in public. She was not the only person, by the way. There were men, there were women, there were a lot of people doing in a park or something. So police raid pada. The police have gone there to raid the people. Yeah. And what happened there? The dialogue was so sad.
The dialogue is so sad.
This one trans woman there beat up to crisp. Sitting there outside, tied up like a monkey, outside the police station, not even inside.
Because they don't know which prison to put her in, no?
They don't know is a very calm, peaceful thing to say. It's a discrimination, like, we will not touch you, but we'll hit you and throw you outside. Like, probably beat her up outside only, bro. Like, then the men and the woman, like, she says, like, men came and claimed the men, women came and claimed the
policemen took the men, the male criminals, the policewomen took the women criminals or prostitutes, and then I was left here in the middle. And it's like, the middle, the indetermined, the undefined is where in this grey area, they're facing the most amount of violence with the least amount of visibility.
And she tries to be so nice to the cop also. It's like Eid ka din, koi phas jata hai, and you go like, abey yaar, tyauhar ka din hai, chhod do. So Maharashtra mein Ganpati is that huge.
That only.
So Gauri aane ka din hai.
Her tone is so soft.
So soft.
Where she is like, let's just let him go. We just want to take her. Yeah, let's take her and go, because her name is Munna. Which is like, let's take her and go. We want to take her and go.
I don't think it is that clear. Also around that point, no, Kira, this is also a thing. This person was doing sex work in a park, and probably thrown out of the house as Munna. So it's just Munna. You are in a situation where your name doesn't matter.
The name doesn't matter. Certainly doesn't matter to the people who are targeting you. So what does it matter to how you address? But she requests that they be allowed to take her and go. And the police wants to kick up a big stink when they are like, while she is not held in custody.
And there are 4 times like, macho, don't touch us. 4 or 5 times this cop does this.
And then she roars at him.
That was Sushmita Sen roared like a lion, because she was also doing this bass voice for Gauri. And that, like, hey, that was so good.
So good. The cop is quaking in his boots.
And that is what, no, the sharafat pe hai, to itna chal raha hai, sharafat nikal di to kitna hi der lagne wala hai. It's like, then all the women start clapping. That is why the show is called TAALI, because you don't see Gauri doing TAALI at any given point of time, while really helping everybody else. So like, TAALI is like a protection, right? In that situation, that is how you call your peers, that is how you stand as a community.
And that is also your identifier. And they are not afraid to identify themselves as that. They're not afraid to use it.
Imagine your identity itself is an insult. How is that? Like, so you've been put in a situation where you have no other choice but to identify as you. That is why, no, that other old trans woman talking to Ganu 8018 is like, you still have hope.
You're not
as far gone as I am. So how sad should that be? And then it's like, then that's what, no, Sharafat ki naqab, like in Dirty Picture, Sharafat ki naqab udhar gayi. So kya ye? So it's like, sorry. At this point, you're like, we are trying to be nice.
We're trying to be nice, and you're not being nice. So if we stop being...
She tries to quote the minister, she tries to quote the NGOs, she tries to quote the media. She does so much to not make a fuss because it's a festival day. And all of them are also celebrating.
All of them are also celebrating.
On middle of a celebration, they pull her out.
But anyway, once they take Munna and go, and they don't know where she's going to live, because she lives and works on the road, and she is like, okay, we've gotten you out of the police station.
Also, she was trafficked there from somewhere else.
So no house, no nothing. And that's what the other girls are telling Gauri, that Munna doesn't have anywhere to go. And Munna calls her Amma. And she is so moved by
the first time ever
that anybody called her a mother, which is what she desperately wanted to be ever since she was a little kid. And she is like, mission is accomplished.
And she's also not...
She's like, get inside the house. It is past your bedtime. We are...
It's like, oh my god.
First of all, to adopt a person who I think for all intents and purposes is the same age as her is wild.
And then this person to call the other person mother
is also crazy.
It's just sad, but also at the same time so affirming that community can stand with each other.
And that they can play all these roles for each other, roles that people who were supposed to play for you have effectively abandoned.
That is what.
So you will have to find somebody to do this. She's like, how many babies are we going to adopt?
Yeah.
And she's like, you didn't ask it when I adopted you.
So existing like, have weak, feeble hands.
Straight up makes an assassination attempt.
Which